Okay, now that we've done our brainstorming and our outlining, and we practiced first writing a paragraph, and then we moved to 5 paragraphs, and we went back in and we added lots of descriptions to help our reader really get a good idea of what's going on. Now we want to do some editing. So there's a couple things I want you to look for. The first thing I want you to look for is, did you indent each of the 5 paragraphs? So when we indent, that means we left a space right here at the beginning of each sentence. So we can check each of our paragraphs and see that we indented all of these, but we forgot to indent here. So we want to remind ourselves, I like to draw a little arrow, that means we need to push that part in to indent that paragraph, and we did indent down here in our last paragraph. So the first thing we want to check for is, did we indent? The next thing we want to look for is, did we capitalize the beginning of each sentence? So you want to read through this and check and make sure that the beginning of every sentence is capitalized. So for example, right here you can see I forgot to capitalize you at the beginning of a sentence. So I'm going to make that a big to remind myself, I need to capitalize at the beginning of each sentence. Another thing we want to check for is, if I is all by itself, that means it needs to be capitalized. So right up here where we have, it's a little I, we want to actually make that into a big I, because again, I by itself is always capitalized. The next thing we want to check for is, did we use punctuation at the end of each sentence? So you want to read through and look at the end of each sentence and check and make sure there's punctuation. So that's either a period, a question mark, or an exclamation point. And when I look through here, I realize, I forgot to add a period right here. So I'd make a little period. I'd even maybe circle it just to remind myself. So once you check and you make sure that you indented each paragraph, you have a capital letter at the beginning of each sentence, you capitalized I when it was all by itself, you added punctuation at the end of each sentence, then you can read through it one time and just see, do I notice any words that aren't spelled correctly, to fix those? And then I want you to write a really nice, neat copy, and that will be your final copy of your persuasive writing.